If you're looking to buy or sell a property, an assignment contract is one way to do it and something you might want to consider. Stick around and we're going to talk about the process of completing and acquiring a property through an assignment contract and also the mortgage qualification guidelines to fund one. Okay, so before we dig any deeper here with assignment contracts, just a little disclaimer. Want everyone to be aware, everything I'm going to talk about in this video pertains to assignment contracts in British Columbia. So if you're watching from any other province or state or wherever, check with your local real estate authority and make sure you're all up to snuff with the assignment rules and regulations in your region. So let's start off with the difference between an assignment contract and a standard or typical purchase contract. And that basically the biggest difference is the actual transactional item itself within the contract. So for a purchase contract, you're signing up to purchase a property, whereas an assignment contract, you are signing to purchase the rights of that contract to then purchase the property. Okay, so an assignment contract comes into play with and it merges with an existing purchase contract. And what it does is it removes the existing contract holders, the existing buyers, and it replaces them with you, the new assignee. Okay, and the outcome, the biggest changes in an assignment contract, the biggest difference is, as I just mentioned, the change of contract holders, and in most cases, but not all the time, the change in price. Now, why would someone want to purchase a property via an assignment contract? One good reason might be that it's just a steadfast, quick way to get into buying a new property without waiting for too long. A lot of properties are released from the builder as assignable or given assignable status when that project or property is nearing completion. So you could forego or skip out on that entire 1 or 2 or 3 year process of the project being complete and kind of jump in 1 or 2 months before possession date and purchase a property via an assignment. Another reason could be that you may also consider this part a bonus if you do get this. You may also be able to partake into the having influence in the finishes and the upgrades of that unit as well. But like I mentioned, consider that a bonus, as a lot of times this will already be decided upon and decisions have been made on it earlier on in the process. And finally, another common reason might be you might be able to score a really good deal when purchasing a property via an assignment. And two reasons for that. One could be simply there's less marketing allowance for assignment properties, so there could be less competition amongst the pool of buyers out there vying for that particular property. So you might get a better deal on a property. Number two, the existing contract holders of that, let's say a pre-sale condo project, maybe someone signed up for it 3 years ago, put an offer down, and they locked into a purchase contract. But things change in life, and for whatever reason, they may have to get out of their existing contract. And it could be for various reasons, and that could be another opportunity for a buyer today to get into that property and perhaps get a better price for it, or that all depends case by case. What to expect when qualifying for a mortgage for an assignment purchase? First thing to be aware of is that don't make the conclusion that every lender is accepting of assignment purchases, because not all of them are. But the main three kind of things to look out for as far as mortgage qualification goes, those that do accept assignment purchases, it'll be no different as though you're qualifying for a standard mortgage, buying a MLS resale property. Versus an assignment contract. So all the income qualification, the credit criteria, self-employment, everything, it all remains intact. But what you can expect is quite a bit more paperwork, and mainly having to do with the assignment contract. So expect just more of a paper trail from the actual transaction. Number two, there are some lenders who won't recognize the newly negotiated assignment price. So if they say that they'll give you a loan based on 80% loan to value, they may want that 80% loan to value to be applied to the original purchase price as per the original purchase contract. Okay, so be aware of that. But most lenders will allow you to base it on the newly negotiated assigned contract. And lastly, another thing to be aware of, appraisals. Not all lenders will require it as a standard, but it's kind of on a case by case with every assignment contract and with the various lenders that will do this. So heads up on that, not necessarily a standard, but a case by case as far as appraisals go. And to close out, I'm just going to leave you with a few other items here, some closing tips. Number one, try and assemble a team to represent you so you don't go about this alone. It's a different process, and there are some unusual steps in the process of completing an assignment, both from a real estate contractual perspective and from a mortgage financing. So line yourself up with a realtor, a mortgage broker, and a lawyer, a solicitor or notary. And flat out ask each member of the team if they have experience with assignments. Another good tip here, just follow up on making sure that the actual property is in fact assignable. So don't assume that just because it's on the so-called market or wherever you discovered this listing for this assignable property, that it is in fact allowed. So make sure you request the appropriate documentation from the builder or the consent from the seller, the original seller, that in fact the property is assignable. And finally, the last point is some of the costs, the hidden costs associated with assignment contracts. For resale properties, when you do an assignment in British Columbia, recently, a couple of years ago, legislation passed that the original seller is entitled to 50% of the profit in an assignment. Okay, so if there's a bump in value, let's say $50,000 or $100,000 for that property as a result of the assignment, the original seller is subject to 50% of that profit. For pre-sale condos, a little bit different. It's not that aggressive. However, there still is a fee that the developer is allowed to charge. And that could be anywhere from 1%, and recently I've heard as high as 5%. So be aware of these hidden cost fees as well. And thank you for tuning in today. And don't forget to subscribe, and see you again on the next video. Take care. Thanks for tuning in today, and please don't forget to subscribe for some more valuable mortgage qualification tips. Take care.